What's up, everybody? It's July 12th, 2017, and the 2,865th day that the U has not beaten FSU in football. I didn't plan on doing a video today, but I got some issues that I just kind of want to expound on, or that I've read or heard about. And of course, they're all sports related, but I just thought I would inquire on that and see what you guys thought. Um, the first thing is real quick in NFL news, and most of this is NFL, some NBA. D'Angelo Williams voiced that there are four teams that he wouldn't play for. All I really want to say about that is, why would you do that? I don't understand why you had to put it out there. You know, um, if they reach out to you, then you just tell them no, you're not interested. Why do you have to put it out there? I don't know. Three of the teams, I think he was just worried about they weren't that good. I think Jacksonville, the Browns, and I forgot what the third team was. It might have been the Jets. I don't know. And then the last team was the Cowboys, and that's just because he grew up as a 49er fan and he always hated the Cowboys. I just thought it was interesting that. Oh, no, the third. Well, I'm sorry. Anyway, let me continue on with this first. He was talking about the Cowboys, and I'm like, so? They don't need you. They got Elliott. They got, geez, what's his name? I always forget his name. Darren McFadden, who's been able to stay healthy because he's not an every down back. They got enough. So why would you even be? Because they put a mic in your face don't mean you need to talk into it. I'm trying to tell you guys, no need to do that. So I thought that was interesting. Actually, the third team wasn't a Jets. The third team was his former team, the Carolina Panthers. He said, they're like an ex-girlfriend. If you're done with them, you're done with them. And they had they basically, didn't keep him. So he's still bitter about that. But my thing is, why go through all that? So D'Angelo, move on, bruh. Sound like you ain't moved on. So um, there goes that. Real quickly, in basketball news, the Lakers signed Contavious Caldwell Pope to a 1-year, $18 million deal. I heard that, and I think it was from Bill Simmons. He said that the Lakers might be trying to load up next year, and so they're getting these 1-year deals on some of these guys to fill out the roster. Until then, they're trying to go for the big haul next year. Rumor is LeBron, who would be up, his contract would be up with the Cavaliers. Chris Paul, whose contract, since he got traded, his contract would be up with Houston next year. Paul George, whose contract would be up next year with Oklahoma City. And I think there was one more person. I think it was a big. Oh, DeMarcus Cousins, whose contract is up this year. Contract will be up after this season with the Pelicans. That's a lot of money to be floating around. I mean, if you do 20 million each, that's 80 million right there, and then you still have probably your rookies who are on contract. You probably have two rookies next year. You got two rookies this year. Probably got a couple of rookies right now. You have some valuable guys that are already on the team. So it'd be interesting to do. I thought it was interesting that somebody would put that out there. But they could be lining up for something big next year. But getting all four of those, I'm not sure about it. Uh, Even though when you think about it, all four of those could actually play together. But no sense in hypothesizing about anything until next offseason. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, they signed Caldwell Pope to a 1-year, $18 million deal. The Jazz signed Thabo Cephalosha to a 2-year deal. The amount, I did not see the amount for it, but Jazz is putting some pieces together, see what happens. Thabo is a good defensive player, uh, and if you get points out of him, you get points out of him. So don't know what Utah's trying to do. I think somebody even mentioned, one of the former players said nobody wants to play in Utah. It's kind of bad, but hopefully Jazz will be okay. After losing Gordon Hayward, maybe some truth to it. But hey, Stockton and Malone enjoyed it, so go figure. The Knicks and the Rockets are working on a Carmelo Anthony trade, which probably will include a third party. Y'all know how I feel about Melo. He just doesn't fit anybody's system. I'm not going to say he's a bad player. I'm saying that he doesn't fit anybody's system. He's an ISO player. And an ISO player means I do whatever I want. And you guys just kind of fill in the blanks as we go. Uh, and that's where the struggle is. It's kind of ISO in Houston, and it's kind of not. You know, they like to pass the ball, they like to run. I don't know about Melo being a runner and just catch and shoot. I mean, they like catching and shooting. You got Chris Paul, you got the deliverer, and then when he needs to do his thing, he does his thing. I'm not sure he fits in their system, but if Mike D'Antoni wants him, then I guess he does fit in their system to him. So I think it's interesting that they want to do this trade. I think the Rockets are a good enough team as they are now, but I guess if I had to be positive about it, Melo draws attention to him. So it could be a double, or even like if you're playing the likes of Golden State, you're drawing Durant to him. Um, their bigs could be occupied, can occupy Draymond Green, but where's the difference? Uh, Chris Paul and Harden. I think Klay Thompson would struggle covering James Harden, but James Harden isn't quite keen on defense himself. So him and Klay would probably score 30 a night. Uh, Chris Paul would make Steph Curry work on the defensive end, and then Chris Paul would also try to play defense on him. So I think that kind of balances out. I also might give a slight edge to uh, Chris Paul, but Curry, possibly can make shots from anywhere. So that would be pretty interesting. I think it'll come down to the bigs. Can Draymond do what he does? Jaja is back. Uh, can he be effective as well? Occupy bigs, and then there'll be a battle of benches. What happens when the benches come into play? Um, I still don't think Melo's a fit. And I don't want to sound like a Melo hater. I'm just trying to figure out where it fits. But I guess it would depend on what the Rockets have to give up. If they don't have to give up much, and maybe something from their bench, then it's a great ad. But if they have to give up something significant, then you're doing addition by subtraction, and that's not good. Uh, but hey, it'll be fun to watch. Fun to watch come October, right? So we'll see. Speaking of the NBA is thinking about, at least I've heard rumors, like I said, they're thinking about starting the season about 10 days earlier so that the teams can have less back-to-backs. If you're complaining about doing back-to-backs, it makes sense. Everybody's sitting here, it's a longer season. Dude, you can't have it all in 82. What do you want them to do? Shorten the season, 13 games, so you don't have back-to-backs? I don't understand it. They're extending it by 10 days. That means you'll have less back-to-backs. And people can stop crying about being tired. You're making millions of dollars. You're making more money than any other league, any other sport of the four major sports. And you still not happy? Come on, man. Earn your pay. You still rest. You're still robbing the fans. You're still doing that. And you can't do right now 13 back-to-backs. If they extend the league or the calendar 10 days, then that's probably it'll at least reduce 5 back-to-backs probably. Come on, man. Y'all still robbing the fans. You don't practice, so we're getting a weak product when you get out there on the court, and then sometimes you're not even playing. Look up the guys who started and played 82 games. Look that number up. You tell me if you're not robbing the fans. So anyway, they're looking at that. I think it's a good idea if it keeps the players from crying about it, but don't seem like they're ever satisfied. They just need to go out there and play. So we'll see what happens. One other thing about the NBA, they are holding off on reseeding the playoffs, making it 1 through 16 instead of the top 8 in each conference. Adam Silver says, right now we're tabling that. They are looking at, raising the draft eligibility age, and I think that's a good thing. I think all these players should play 3 years in college before they go. And if they don't want to, build up the development league, let them sit there and do whatever they do. Get called up like the minors. And let them develop the skills. Learn how to play as a team. All that good stuff. So that's my take on that. That's my short take on that. Or if the rules change. We'll talk more on it if the rules change. Other than that, I think the reseeding is dumb. You have two conferences and four divisions or six divisions for a reason. Um, Reseeding 1 through 16, if every team is not playing basically a balanced schedule, meaning playing the same opponents almost the same amount of times, then that's a bad idea anyway. If Eastern Conference teams are going to play Eastern Conference teams 4 times, 3 or 4 times, and they only play Western Conference teams twice, this is the current format, and vice versa. Western Conference, they play each other at least 3 or 4 times, and the Eastern Conference, they play everybody only twice. And then you're going to reseed them by 1 through 16 based upon those types of schedules? That ain't fair. That ain't fair. In the Western Conference, you're playing tougher teams. It has to be tougher teams. So I'm going to assume that's why it's tougher teams, because that's the reason why you're looking into reseeding them. You're looking into reseeding them because you're saying the Western Conference is tougher than the Eastern Conference. It goes in spurts like that. Eastern Conference, when the Bulls were winning 6 titles, nobody talked about reseeding. When the Bulls won 6 titles, nobody thought about it. Talk to the owners. They're not. It seems like the Eastern Conference owners aren't spending money. Talk to them about it. Or they're not good at negotiating. But anyway, the bottom line is that you don't reseed and everything is not even. I would be pretty pissed if I was yes, you put the Eastern Conference teams, a lot of them be the lower seeds, but they're not playing the same schedule. Have it all balanced. If they play the same schedule, then your reseeding is accurate. And then the other thing, you might as well just throw out divisions if you're going to balance them all out anyway. What do you have divisions for and conferences for if you're going to reseed them 1 through 16 and then not even a balanced schedule? You balance out the schedules, and you get what you're supposed to have. Let the Western Conference play Eastern Conference teams 3 times. Play everybody 3 times. It's 30 teams. You play 29 teams 3 times. Guess what that is? 87. 29 times 3 is 87. Okay, so you play an 82-game season, take 5 of the teams, and you play them only twice. And maybe you can do that from the opposite conferences. You juggle it that way. It ain't rocket science. It's rocket science when they overthink it. 29 times 3 is 87. There's 82 games. I'm not telling you to play 87 games. You could play 87 games and make it a longer season, but they're already crying about 82 games. So we keep it at 82. And then 5 of the teams, you only play twice instead of 3 times. And hey, how you figure that out? Subtract them from the opposite conference. And boom, that's about as balanced you can get. And maybe just rotate those every year, which 5 teams you don't play. Or do it by division. Because 5 teams in each division, right? So one division you don't play 3 times. The other 2 divisions of the opposite conference, you play them 3 times. And then one division you only play twice. NFL does it. It ain't rocket science. So that's that. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the NFL, and that's something that they were talking about today. Richard Sherman was asked about, NFL players making more money, especially seeing how the NBA players are getting paid. And Richard Sherman said, well, to get more pay, you got to be willing to strike and stand by that strike. And it's not many times that I'm going to agree with Richard Sherman, but this is one time that I agree with him. First of all, in my opinion, NFL players should be getting paid more than NBA players anyway, or NBA players. They take the most risk with their health. They can be injured every game. I mean, you're out there hitting each other. You got helmets, you're hitting head to head, and you're hitting each other. You can be injured every game. To me, that's a very hazardous game. Short span, running backs, 10 years? If you're a quarterback or a kicker, maybe 15 to 20 years. Everything else is in between. NBA players, hell, any of them can play 15 to 20 years with no problem at all. If they can play defense and they're willing to take a little low amount of money. You ain't getting no elite. Even the elite NFL player ain't guaranteed to make it 15 years because all it takes is one hit. But it's just a more physical sport, more dangerous sport, more at-risk sport. And that's why they should. That's my first reason why they should make more money. The second reason is I thought the NFL was like the sport. So shouldn't the players be making that kind of money? I thought it was the sport. It is the sport most watched, right? Whatever, right? Why aren't they making more money? Bad negotiating skills by the Players Association. Bad negotiating skills. The rookies, there's a certain amount of years they have to sign for. I think it's 3 or 4 years, or that's the max. Uh, and then it's for a certain amount of money. That's trash. You got contracts that can be, contracts that aren't really contracts because if for whatever reason, if the team feels like if you tie their hands financially, they can opt out of the deal. But if a player says he wants to hold out, what do you hear from fans and what do you hear from the team? Oh, he needs to honor his contract. Well, you're not honoring the contract when you decide salary cap issues, you want to get rid of him. Or if you think he's hurt and he can't come back, you're going to get rid of him. You see how contradictory that is? Everybody sits here and says, honor your contract. Honor your contract? You don't honor mine. If I break my ankle this year and they think I ain't going to come back strong, they kick me out of my contract. And the only money I get is guaranteed money, whatever's guaranteed, if it's guaranteed. But the remaining years of my contract, I don't get that base salary no more. Nothing's guaranteed except the guaranteed money. It's not like the NBA. In the Major League Baseball, all of it's guaranteed. NHL, all of it's guaranteed. NFL is the only thing that's not guaranteed, and you're taking the most risk. And we're making you ends over ends buku money. How do I know that? Let's do some numbers. The Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers both have to pay $645 million to relocate. And they're going to pay that in payments in over a 10-year period, so about $64 million each, $128 million per year for the next 10 years, starting in 2019. And all the other 30 teams in the league will get to split that $122 million. I'm sorry, $645 million. That's $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. So the other 28 teams get to split that $1.2 billion. Let me make sure I'm correct here. $645 million each. They have to pay relocation fee. That is $1.29 billion. $1.29 billion that gets split up between the other 28 teams. So for them to be able to pay $645 million to relocate, that already tells you they got money. The Oakland Raiders, which will be in the future the Las Vegas Raiders, they have to pay $378 million starting in 2019 to relocate as well. And then the other 31 teams outside of the Raiders will get to split that money. So they got revenue coming in just from relocation. And for the owners to have that money, or those teams to have that money to relocate. So them asking these cities for monies to build stadiums, they wanted to get even greedier. They wanted to pay nothing out of their pocket even more because they got all that money. I'm going to add more to it. The NFL made $7.8 billion worth of TV deals. All the teams get a share of that. Get 32 teams split that money. Green Bay Packers shared their piece of the pie, $244 million off of the TV deal. Out of that $7.8 billion, they get $244 million of it. And yet these players make pennies on the dollars compared to Major League Baseball and the NBA, and can't even get a guaranteed contract with what they have. They can get booted out of their contract before it's even up. People crying that they shouldn't be holding out. Players can even opt out in the NBA. No trade clauses. I ain't trying to hear nothing from nobody anymore concerning NFL players wanting their money. And the NFL players, they're so brainwashed, or they're so, for whatever reason, their thought process is, okay, I got to make this money. I got to make this money. So I can't be holding out forever. Because then he's thinking, oh, I can just get blackballed. I can get labeled. I can just get pushed out because they say they can just find somebody else. All it takes is one or two to do it, and that's it. And just like Richard Sherman says, it's about striking. When it's time to redo the CBA and you say, hey, we need more money, don't take the owner's word for it. You sitting here saying, well, I ain't going to have no job, I ain't got no money. It's the price of striking. You got to believe in that what you're trying to do is correct, is right, and get what you deserve. If you don't do that, if you just keep uh, giving in, owners gonna always have you tied. They're gonna have you tied. They're making crazy money. I just gave you the numbers, and I haven't even mentioned the revenue from the stadiums and all that stuff, dude. Merchandising, and you sit here saying I can't get a $28 million deal for 5 years and have it guaranteed. I can't get a $40 million deal for 6 or 7 years and have it guaranteed. That's pennies. That's pennies to the NBA. Make your decision, NFL players. Be smarter than what people give you credit for, and stay on those player association reps and the guy who runs the show for you. You don't demand them to treat you right because they're not even being fair. These deals have been raw for you guys for a long time. They've been raw deals for a long time, but I bet they're getting paid nicely, right? This is what they made for you, and you're happy with that? You're satisfied with that? Hey, you got to do better, guys, but you got to be able to take the chance. You got to be able to take that chance. You got to be able to take that risk. Sit it out. That's why going to college is important and getting a degree. Because if you have that, it ain't millions, but you're going to get your millions because you're going to hold out long enough. But until then, just be a regular person for a little while until those owners come around and do the right thing. Remember, they can't make money, and there's no NFL without the players. Owners can't do nothing about it. You're the decision guys. You're the decision makers. You're the guys that make it go. Don't let anybody tell you different. That's what they're trying to tell you, and that's what they're trying to tell Colin Kaepernick in the same situation. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, I'm risking life and limb. Are you really giving me everything I'm supposed to get? And that's what they're trying to tell you right now. Don't rock the boat. You're okay. I'm giving you money that you would never have. They're making tenfold, 100-fold. You just saw it here. The salary cap is what? Not even 100 million. And these guys are making 5, 6, 7 times that. Come on, guys. Get with the program. So that's my thing. That's enough of my rant concerning that. But I'm sure we'll probably hear more down the line. But that could be further off when the CBA is up again for the NFL. But I just thought I'd bring that to a head. I didn't want to wait to talk about that. But later this week, Major League Baseball goes back in full swing on Friday. NBA, there's always news coming out of there concerning that, and it looks like NFL too. So if anything comes that's important, I'll reach out to you guys and give you a holler. Other than that, you guys take care of yourself. God bless, and free Colin Kaepernick. Peace.